XenoChat. I am one of your hosts, Tyler, and along with Justin.
What's up, everyone?
Alright, we've got a few guests with us today. First up, we have Nick.
I have arrived.
We have Robin.
At this time of year?
And we have Anthony.
Insert clever and funny intro here.
Oh, wish you'd followed up in this part of the country.
I set you up.
Oh, that would have been good. In this part of the country.
Centralized in your kitchen.
It's centralized wherever you're listening to
Localized
this
entirely within your Discord.
podcast.
Well, today we're going to be talking about one of the best Xenoblade characters, or Xenoblade 2 to be specific, and that is Nia.
Dromart. Oh.
Minoff?
Dromark Vicious.
I mean, we will be talking about Dromark. So.
We will.
We will.
We will not be talking
It's
about
an
Minoff.
honorable mention.
Oh, messed it up. Restart.
All right, so-
Restart.
No, it's established. We're not going back. It's left in.
Yeah.
Uh,
So before we get into Nia, let's talk about some just merch updates. So, the Mio scale figure is now up for pre-order. You can get her on Good Smile's website, Good Smile US, that is, and that is $93.99.
That is
You can also get her on Ami, and where she is 15,800 yen, or 101.52 USD. Looks like she's coming out next year. I think Ami will ship her sooner than Good Smile. Good Smile says it's shipping Q4 2025. Ami says May 2025.
They'll probably come out to around the same price, given how
Wow.
each of those charge shipping. So,
Mm-hmm.
They do this really far in advance. I never realized. Like, good lord,
mhm.
that's over a year from now.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
the pre-orders they do. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
You pre-order it, and then you forget about it, and then you get an email going, hey, those 10 things you pre-ordered, do you want to pay for them? And you're like, wait, what?
Exactly.
I hate that.
You know what's
I
cool?
hate that.
Well, that's just if you go through Good Smile, because they let you pay later.
Ami.
Ami, sorry, I had to reverse. Ami lets you pay
Yeah.
later. Good Smile would be like, money up front, bro.
Money now, please.
Like,
Well,
I go back and forth. Actually, I should be clear.
Well,
On which
actually,
method I prefer.
also like the Good Smile one, a lot of times you have to pay like the shipping later. So it's like, oh, pay now, then pay later.
Ooh, best of both worlds. And I believe they also... I don't think she's up for pre-order, but they at least showed like that they're working on a Uni Figma.
Yes.
I don't know if we
They
already
did.
discussed that.
I'm sorry.
don't-
What?
Person either.
Yeah,
But
we
yes,
My
there's
favorite
a
character
unique
from the third
Figma.
game is getting a Figma.
Well, yes, she is.
Yes. They announced that Unifigma quite a while back.
Yeah, they
actually.
did. I just don't know if we talked about it.
That's why I
4 or
don't
5
remember
months ago?
because it was a while ago.
We,
that they announced
we,
it.
we did talk about it in a news
Oh, okay. Well, then,
Okay.
edit
Yeah,
this
when
out.
they-
I didn't say anything.
Nope.
Did they?
It's in.
Did they ever? I was gonna say, did they ever show like a painted version of that? Because I think I remember.
I don't
only
think they
seeing,
showed
like,
To my
painted.
knowledge,
It was-
no.
No.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I
it was
just
just a
remember seeing
sculpt.
like the sculpt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And
All
also,
right, so yeah,
I'm currently
I
proceeding
think
to check
that's
out.
everything.
well,
I think that's everything I can think of as far as merch goes. Is there anything else, Tyler?
it just ended, but that Kickstarter for the Xenosaga piano collection ended.
Okay.
Which that was pretty cool.
Yes. I'm going to France.
Nice.
I do plan on going to that concert. I would love to basically go back to Paris. It's an excuse for me to go back to France. I don't go back to France often enough. So,
When's the last time you went back?
2017.
Yeah, you don't go often
Oh,
enough.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Did they announce when the concert's gonna be? Because I know the.
I don't think they had any information on that. I just know that when they do announce it, I'm gonna try to do what I can to go to that.
Nice. And you'll get to meet
Maybe
up
you
with
can even
Val.
meet up with some...
Oh,
Yeah,
whoops.
I hope I can.
I'm
meet up
sorry.
with them.
Hopefully,
I was gonna just not specify Val. But...
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh no! You mentioned our good
Who's
friend
Val?
Val.
How about this? Why don't we
Who's
like leave out
Val?
their name
JK.
with something?
Okay. I can do that.
Wait, can we not talk about Val?
We can talk about Val.
Just to ask permission
Talking
in the
about
chat.
Val right now.
I'll ask Valve permission, and if they don't want to, I'll bleep it out their name.
Yeah.
There we go.
Exactly.
Doxed, the Val.
The Val.
The only
Val, who is
There's
from
only
all
one
of
person
France.
named Val ever. Period.
I
In all of
love
France.
how we talk about, should we mention them? And then all of you guys proceed to say their name several times in a row.
Oh, I'm just trying to make this editing
Yeah.
hill. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I can help.
No, it's okay.
It's just a series of bleeps.
I can do that. Anyway.
But yeah.
I was talking about my cousin, who is also named that, so I don't know what y'all talking about.
AEIOU, Val.
I was talking about my cousin.
Anyways, Tyler,
We're
what is this
monsters.
episode about again?
We're all actual monsters.
Anyways,
Yes.
Tyler, what is this episode about again?
This episode is about everyone's favorite cat girl, Nia. Well, unless you like Mio more, but it's about Nia. This episode's Nia. No one else.
Niall?
No.
Niall's my favorite.
Nia. Only Nia.
Mhm.
But-
She's my favorite cat girl, too.
Oh, I'm glad I have a comrade who loves Nia as much as I.
No, I love Nia.
I
was
also
just
love
joking.
Nia.
I really
Anyway.
love it. Like I will be totally real. Nia got the most laughs out of me, I think. I do love her.
Well, why don't we answer the first question on our doc, then? Who is Nia?
A cat girl.
Yeah, she is a former member of the Torna group that Jen and Malice are part of. And then she, she joins up with Rex after Malice, basically stabs Rex to death.
Actually, Jin stabs Rex.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
Fake
bad.
fan.
Fake fan confirmed.
Yep, that was not Malos.
That was
So-
not.
Tyler, you need to stop playing so much Xenosaga and start playing Xenoblade.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm a fake Xenoblade
So-
fan.
Anyway, so after he gets stabbed, though.
But yeah. So carry on. I'm gonna mess it up. Someone else talk about her.
But yes, she is the second party member you get. Well, second permanent party member you get, because,
So
I mean,
Nia
I guess...
stabs you. No.
So Nia stabs you.
Oh dang. But yeah. Before I even played Xenoblade 2, I mean, there's a lot of characters in this game that I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna be my favorite character, and Nia was kind of one of them. But I mean, she comes off this very sarcastic, doesn't get along with Rex at all at the beginning, and she just really grows on me, and as she kind of like develops her relationship with the party and Rex and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, the very first thing like she says to him is something about him being we're gonna let this baby drive. Are we gonna have to babysit this guy for?
Yeah.
So yeah, it does start like that. But anyway,
A
to
thing that I
answer
know
your-
Sorry.
No,
Go
I was just gonna make a dumb show. It's like, so Nia is a game where you gotta save your daughter or sister from this mystical shade disease.
Oh, should have done that earlier when we were asking about Nia.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt, so there it is. It's in there. Go on, though.
But I was gonna say, I know we have the voice acting later in the doc, but for me, one of the first things that drew me to Nia was just that the voice acting is not what you expect. Like, she does sound much more mature than standard anime cat girl. Like,
In English.
Yes, in English. The English voice actress is Katrin Mai. Katrin Mai who? Anyone want to correct me? No. Okay, then we're going with that.
I'm not good with European names.
I'm not
At
good
all.
with reading, so.
You
But
guys
she did a
do mine.
fantastic job,
Yes.
and it's
Yes.
just, again, it's not what you're expecting if you just look at the character,
Mm-hmm.
but it works so well. Like, she gave so much personality just in the voice. And,
I
like,
100% agree. And with the context of the character, the voice fits so perfectly. I genuinely could not imagine another voice for her. Like, it was too perfect.
it really
and
was.
that's kind of what I was going to get into. I think what's kind of interesting about Nia's voice is that, like, the Japanese voice actress Hitomi Awada, she she doesn't do a bad job as Nia, but I think like that voice is much closer to what a lot of people were expecting, and I have a feeling that unfortunately, people are gonna have different views on Nia because of that.
Yeah.
Like, and just in general, I think a lot of the characters in Xenoblade 2, especially, they read a little bit differently because of the Japanese audio. There's a few other differences, like the Japanese audio has the weird like video game announcer in the combat that's just like not in the English one at all. I mean, it is in the English one, but it's like
we have a weird announcer in English.
We do, but like the Japanese one is like a fighting game announcer. It's like really hype and stuff.
Wait, for real?
Yes.
Yo, I did not know this at all.
Or
Yeah.
Like,
you should
I
definitely
love
take a
to see
listen.
footage of this now. This sounds hysterical.
Yeah, you can look it up on your own time.
You can also
So,
just switch the
it's
language.
Yeah, it's a really, really weird thing with Xenoblade 2 where I think like the voice acting is going to change a lot of people's perceptions of certain characters, and I think Nia especially is going to be one of those characters where I know a lot of people are going to look at Nia as more mature because they heard the English dub, but other people can be like, oh, well, no, she's like meant to be youthful, kind of like Rex because of the Japanese dub, so...
Yeah.
She doesn't read as youthful. Like, her body language, every like movement she makes seems very like somebody who has been through a lot of shit, like very experienced, very like not youthful, not bubbly or energetic like Rex. Like, she's small, yes, she's not a tall person, she's not curvy, but she carries herself like somebody who has been through what she's been through, to be quite frank.
Except sometimes she does kind
Fed
of
up.
let her
When she
more
gets
playful
spunky,
side.
when-
Yeah, like when you
when she's getting spunky and she's got a temper, like a hair fused temper, but that's kind of her archetype. She's like the sassy, angry friend in the group.
Yeah. But again, she just go ahead.
Which I was gonna say, which to be fair, like I actually think both voice actresses do a pretty good job at capturing the sassy side of Nia. So
Yeah,
like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh well, one's better, one isn't. No, I think both of them do a pretty good job. Like it's two different flavors in Nia, but at the same time, I do think that they managed to capture the essence of what makes Nia special, and I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I in no way wish to disparage Hitomi Owada. I think her performance is fine. It's more like looking at the character, the voice you would expect, whereas what Kachin Maihu does is not what you're expecting.
I don't believe you said that about her.
Yeah. And I don't think either of them is bad, and also just to bring it up, Kachin Maihu is natively Welsh.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because you could see memes with Nia where people will put like cat Welsh noises or something like that.
Welsh cat noises.
Yeah. It's kind of so embedded with her character.
So do we want to do a quick history of Nia? Like, I know we very briefly said who she is, but what's her backstory?
Yeah. So, one of the big twists with Nia, there's a couple of big twists with Nia, but one of the big twists with Nia is that she is actually a blade. And she originally started as a blade of a wealthy lord in Gorma. I think he has a name. I am blanking on the name.
I don't believe
now.
so.
I don't think they say it.
No, like they just that he was wealthy, and then at some point, like there's an NPC that will mention there used to be a wealthy guy, and then he spent all of his money trying to make his daughter not sick. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, I guess he does not have a name. But anyways, wealthy guy. Oh wait, Lord of Etchel? That's what the wiki is saying. Right now.
Thank you.
But
Wiki.
whatever. Lord in Gormott, wealthy guy. He has a daughter who is sick, and that daughter unfortunately is terminally sick, and Nia eats her. She is a flesh eater, and he basically made Nia do that so that Nia can essentially live on as his daughter.
Yeah, well, because kind of backing up, because his daughter, well, he kind of lost all of his money trying to keep his daughter alive.
Yeah,
Trying
exactly.
to keep
He
her
lost
alive,
all of his money trying to keep her alive.
Yeah, and then she died, unfortunately, and that's when Nia ate her.
And he got Nia because Nia is a healing blade, and he thought this would be a thing to help his daughter. So he did, like, it kind of implies that he sort of brought Nia up, even though as this blade, but also kind of going, this is your sister, so...
Yeah, because Nia does refer to that
yeah.
daughter as her sister.
Which, originally, when this was brought up in the game, I kind of got, like, Xenosaga vibes, like, with Momo and Joachim Mizrahi and Sakura. I thought that dynamic felt very, winks to the past games in a way, which, of course, Takahashi loves that, but that definitely gave me that vibe.
Yeah. And I think we had spoken about this in a previous episode, but just in general, it seems like flesh eaters are looked down upon far more than, say, blade eaters are.
I think so, but it also seems to be that one of them is just more common than the other.
Yes,
that like too,
there's more blade eaters than flesh eaters.
There are more flesh eaters than blade eaters.
They're more flesh eaters than blade eaters. I thought it was the other way around. Or am I mixing them up?
The flesh eater eats flesh. The blade eater eats blade.
Which makes more sense for the flesh eater to do that because they live so much longer, or partially probably anyway. But yeah,
they don't have to lose their memory.
Yeah.
There are more blades that eat people than people that eat blades.
Okay.
I think that's also because this is entirely theoretical, but I think that's also because blades are kind of viewed as second-hand life forms, in the world of All Rest. Because, the whole reason that Jin says he's doing what he's doing is so that blades can live equally with humans, which turns out to be a load of bullshit, but that's beside the point. Like, they established very early on that blades are not equal to humans.
Yeah.
From a societal standpoint. So a blade that commits this horrific taboo of flesh eating and becoming what they become as a result is kind of like I think the reason why it's so forbidden is because blades are seen as servants. They are seen as slaves. They're not viewed as the same as a human. But if a human does it to save their own life, it's whatever. He's a human. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Which that makes me wonder if the Lord had made his daughter eat Nia, would that have saved her life?
Maybe, but also maybe not.
It's
probably
entirely
a lot
possible
riskier.
that the Lord didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Like from what I think what happened with are we okay to go into spoilers?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I think what happened with Zeke and Pandora is right. It was Pandora. That was
Pandoria.
Pandoria.
Okay. I think Pandoria. Okay, so I think what happened with Zeke and Pandoria is that I don't think that was something. I think that was something they more or less discovered, or it was something that Pandoria knew about, because I don't think Zeke would have known to do that on his own.
Neither of them did. They were found, and Amalthus does it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so then if that's the case, that makes even more sense, because Amalthus was a man of nothing but secrets.
Yeah. No, Amalthus takes part of Pandoria's core to save Zeke, and Pandoria doesn't get to say anything about it, and Zeke does kind of mention, yeah, I don't know, that part's weird, and Pandoria's like, no, you're my driver, I love you, of course I would give you my core. But she did not get to actually say that.
Yeah.
Implying.
The decision was very much made for the both of them, which... Again, that only kind of furthers my point of blades are secondhand citizens in this world. But that does raise an interesting point. Pandoria's feelings for Zeke, then, if that's the case, are they her own, or is it because he's her driver? That would be a topic for a great topic for another episode. Put that in the list.
We've done Blade driver relationships. I really don't want to do it again.
Oh, okay, never mind.
We definitely explored that.
Or we could have a Zeke episode.
Just to go ahead and answer that a little bit, I'm pretty sure seeing as like not every Blade is that way, and also Pandoria kind of does go into that a bit. I think it's a little bit. I think there's a little bit more to it than just it being that. It's not like every Blade is going to just be that kind of in love with their driver necessarily.
Yeah.
Oopsie. Yeah, like Dagus doesn't like you.
Yeah, exactly. That's another good example.
But anyway.
But you like Dagus, right? Sure.
And Sheba doesn't like any men.
Oh, Sheba only likes tea and women.
True.
No, I've seriously forgotten who Dagus is. The name sounds familiar.
He was like a princely guy. His idol animation is sitting on a throne. He's a Fireblade,
okay.
got a crown.
Yes.
He's great.
I was going to say, there's a chance you didn't unlock him either, so I mean, like, he's
I think
missable.
I genuinely think he was my second Blade after Agate.
He was
Agate's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So
let's see. Well, we could talk about her life as a driver. I mean, after the Lord died, she kind of was on the run because being a flesh eater wasn't so great. And then that's when,
not a popular career option.
Not a popular career option. That's when she got indoctrinated. No, rescued.
Yeah, she got rescued.
By Torna.
Yes.
But before that, I'm jumping ahead because Dromark,
Yeah.
that was one of the Lord's blades. So I'm guessing, well, once he died, she was able to,
Unlock his core?
There we go. Awaken his core. That's right. Which I always loved Dromark. He's so cute.
He's such a good lad.
Him and his,
He's such a proper boy.
and his sleep cap.
The sleep cap is great.
It's
Sleep
so
cap's good. I love that when you're running as Nia, she just runs on top of. She just like rides Dromark.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was actually kind of misleading because I remember in the initial trailers for Xenoblade 2, they showed that, and I remember like I and a few of my friends we used to think that, oh snap, you get to ride stuff now, and then it's
there's mounts.
Just that.
Yeah.
I
thought the same
for that.
It's just the one.
So that
was
was
only for Nia exclusive mount.
Yeah, unfortunately, I also used to think Dromark was the announcer in battles in the English dub, but it's not.
It does kind of sound like him.
Sounds so much like him.
I always thought it was Dromark.
I thought
apparently it's not.
I thought it sounded like Azurda.
A little bit, but Azurda actually calls out his own things in battle. Like he tells you when like there's like a type weakness and stuff like that.
Yeah, I figured he was doing both.
Yeah,
but
it does.
As I mentioned, yeah, Azurda's Gramps.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It's been a hot minute.
As I mentioned, the Japanese dub, the announcer is completely different.
He's great. I don't know why they decided to change it for the English because it's like it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
But yeah, Dromark is
Ninja Warrior announcer next time.
Yeah, Dromark.
Yeah, it's like a fighting game announcer. It's crazy.
Yes. Yeah, Dromark is basically
really liked Azurda and Dromark's like two sassy old men, like their relationship and how they interacted with each other and shot quips back and forth. It was very cute. I liked their rapport or whatever that they had going on between the two of them.
Yeah, and the wiki does a good job of or good description of Dromark. He's basically acts as Nia's butler. And
yeah, he's a lot like that.
Yeah.
Yes, he calls Nia my lady.
He's New Maison from Xenogears.
Finally, we now have the answer we've been looking for.
Happened.
I was going to say, we finally know what Mason's persona has been for all of these years.
Exactly.
People have been asking, demanding. They have been knocking on Takahashi's door saying, I need to know Mason's persona. And at last, he's finally answered.
That's why he kept on calling Bart my lady.
Exactly! That's why he kept putting on the cat ears and ending all of his sentences with nya. We finally know.
Oh my god.
The young master, nya.
I do think it's interesting that, like, Drillmark, they picked, like, another Welsh name for him. It's like, I believe the name Drillmark is based on, like, a Welsh.
Yes, it's like a Welsh dog.
Yeah, it's not typically a feline, because Drillmark's name is Yako, which makes a lot more sense for what Drillmark is, but naming him Drillmark, I guess, ties into, the Welsh, which Nia's voice actress also ties into, so I guess they wanted to keep it with that, which, hey, kind of cool, I guess.
Remember in Pokemon, whenever nobody knew whether to call them the legendary dogs? Maybe it's... At least that's what I remember.
No, I know what you're talking about, but Drillmark is the cat.
Yeah. Yes, I know. It was
he doesn't get the excuse.
I know what you're talking about, Nick.
The mythology around it, kind of tie in the same way is all I'm saying.
I was also Team Legendary Dogs anyway.
Whatever,
Yes, Drillmark kind of acts as their butler, and like kind of a confidant, since he knows about her status as a flesh eater. And in the scene where Niall fucking dies, he's they have a kind of silent conversation of like, Drillmark, I need you to lead everybody away so I can actually fix this. Whereas, they have like a good relationship.
Yeah, so Drillmark's a sneaky bastard.
Drillmark's like, I saw something over there, let's go. It's not even a good excuse.
Drillmark, you son of a bitch, there was nothing over there.
I swear I saw something.
Exactly how it went down.
More or less, yeah.
Drillmark, there was something over there, and it's called a distraction.
It was a bird. It flew away.
Then Niall's okay.
Yep, and then it's first aid. It is kind of funny, though, that it's like, you're right, why did nobody do chest compressions or anything? You have a point there, Nia.
He certainly did. Pulse checking doesn't exist in this universe.
You didn't, drop a single potion on our boy.
Like the answer to that question is probably because they're so used to healing energy from blades and whatnot that they probably don't have basic first aid, and we're like, well, guess he's dead.
The number of people who have died in the Blade 2 world who could have been saved by a band-aid.
Don't even get me started.
It kind of bothers me in general in games whenever they have a healing magic element, and then you'll go into a cutscene where someone gets a regular shot they would get, in any situation, and it's just oh no, there's nothing we can do about this. At all.
He's dead. Let's leave.
It's called cutscene damage, and it's irreversible.
Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time, but it is a thing. And I mean, they could at least be oh, this can't happen. Why? Or give it a shot, That way that whenever, it doesn't work, there's at least a good, oh, well, it doesn't really work quite that fast if the wound is dire enough or, like this.
Yeah.
My wife and I have talked about this. That's one of the reasons why we liked Three Houses so much, is because when
I'm just gonna pretend no one said anything.
Gets stabbed, Byleth actually tries to turn time back, which is an integral gameplay mechanic, but it doesn't work. It's a fixed point in time. So I'm like, okay, that at least they fucking tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do appreciate when they, remember game mechanics and cutscenes.
Yes,
that great. Is a mid-game spoiler for that game. By the way, we might need to...
He's a Fire Emblem dad. Everybody fucking knows he was gonna die.
What if that was your first Fire
Emblem? It was my first Fire Emblem.
But he's a dad in an RPG, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
They're either evil or dead.
Except for Trails for some reason.
Well,
Well, because Mom took the hit for that.
The mom was evil or dead.
Anyway.
Well, Justin, I'm going to make you just tell me about Nia's relationship with Rex.
Oh no,
Justin.
So I can talk about it. It's fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So like they're companions. Like she's the second party member you get, and she obviously confides in Rex, and she learns to trust him like crazy to the point where like they'll do anything for each other, and it's pretty wholesome.
Yeah, I really like their. I thoroughly enjoyed the relationship that they built, because they were kind of, she was in one way guiding him and mentoring him, and he was healing her by just being himself, and that was so critical for her character arc, because she even admits, to herself, that she let Vantum die when she could have saved him because she was scared and didn't trust people. But later on, she eventually, because of how she had healed with Rex, she became comfortable enough to really reveal everything about herself to him and trust him with that information, and trust the party with that information, which was huge for a character who's lived in fear and in hiding for so long.
Yeah, her character development was honestly pretty damn good in the second game. And I honestly really liked her dynamic with Rex.
Honestly, in the second game it was really good.
Yeah, I genuinely like what they did with the two of them in that game, and I think going back to first impressions, you see Nia as oh, she's just being tsundere, but I mean it makes perfect sense with her, and just to see her gradually open up to Rex and gradually start to trust Rex. You get to the point where even when we get to the scene that I'm sure everybody wants us to bring up, where she tells Rex that she loves him, and Rex is all, I love you and all you guys, and I know it gets memed to hell, and it's funny, but it's a genuinely good scene, because it makes sense for her to say that she loves Rex, not even necessarily in a romantic way, but just in a way that it's her saying, holy crap, here is somebody that I can genuinely trust with my life here.
Actually rely on. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why and to me, that's why that scene is really, really good. Shipping bullshit aside, it just makes sense for her to feel that way, to have those feelings with Rex. And it's kind of cool. And I like that, she kind of jokes about it right afterwards, because she realizes what she just said. And that's why, to me, that scene is so much more than just, it's not even, I don't even consider it a confession so much as I consider it as, look, this is her coming to grips with the fact that she found somebody that she can genuinely, admire in her life. And that's really, 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 really heartwarming.
Yeah. Honestly, it can still be a confession. I just don't think it necessarily has to be read as romantic.
I don't think so either. I barely read it as romantic, because I'm no, this is just so much more than that. Right?
Yeah, and Rex's response made so much sense for Rex. But anyway.
I also didn't read it, when I was playing through the game first time, I didn't read it as romantic. I read it more as I love you because you came into my life, and you've improved it in every sense of the word. And when somebody comes into your life and they do that sort of thing for you, it's hard not to love them from from a fraternal standpoint. And I'm sure it started that way, and then shipping bullshit shit aside, eventually she ends up with Rex, and it can turn into that. It can lead into that. That's natural. But starting off with strong feelings of friendship to the point where you can call it love is totally normal. There's so much hate in the world, right? So everyone's constantly saying, I hate, I hate, I hate. If hate is such an easy word to drop, love should be equally easy to drop. So in that context of that scene, at that point in time, I don't think it was romantic. I think it was, I love you because I love you. And this is coming from somebody who defends the picture, okay?
We'll talk about the picture later.
Well, I don't want to. Go ahead. Go on.
No, I'm
not.
done.
Are we done with all that?
That was the end of my thought.
Okay.
No, I kind of the main thing that I wanted to bring up. Like, I know that we're kind of like way ahead of this now, but just like I was thinking earlier about with Nia, just like, oh yeah, because like it's been a while since I played, but I was just like remembering, like reminiscing on like, oh yeah, why did she stick with the with Rex like up to this point? Like why? But yeah, it was all like definitely it was plot reasons that kind of like she got swept away into this whole thing. Well, that plus, you know, like after Rex gets kind of killed a little bit and then comes back by the stabbing, I know that she feels like, well, it's partially about like, oh yeah, the group that I was with is not great for that, and I don't know where to go, but also a matter of circumstance of being like rescued, and just like it's kind of like really cool how like the plot works so naturally to kind of like give her a multiple just motivations and reasons to stick with the group, where there are parts where it's just like, yeah, she could just take off, you know, but like they've built up enough stakes like that fast, and just like by means of just like slowly, like the way that they slowly form that bond, besides just and like get her in a situation where she kind of is forced into like to confront these things is pretty cool. I kind of like how they did that.
You know, Nick, you bring up a pretty good point, because like, and this doesn't just apply to Nia, but rather the whole party.
Yeah.
At no point did Rex ever force any of the party members to be with them. They all stick with around him because they genuinely want to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even some of them like later are kind of like watching, keeping an eye on him, so to speak, because obviously because he's the Aegis driver for and things like that, but then end up, you know, just eventually joining out of their own self-interest in his journey and just what he does. Like Morag and Zeke are absolutely that way, for one. Like that's
like Morag does not need to be around Rex. Like at any moment she could have left, and understandably so. But
yeah, there's like a brief moment in the beginning where she's
I thought
there.
There were going to be moments where she was going to leave the party. I was like, no, don't go away. I like you.
Yeah, like I think in the beginning she is in fact like work obligated to be there, but then Niles was like, you can just stay. You seem to be having a good time. Just stay there.
Yeah. It's like, obviously, she's like the agent of Arbadane that needs to keep up with him, because they obviously have just like a geopolitical stake in this whole, what is going on, that could very easily be swayed by Rex, seeing as he has the Aegis. But yeah, they all decide to, instead of like early on where they might have been enemies with him for what he does, they see the nature of his character in general and stick with him. And like Nia's the first one to see that, and is one of the ones that probably needs to be there the least at first, if in some ways it feels like, and just does, because it gives her like a place of he's like one of the first people that gives her a place of belonging like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Like it's, I was like, oh, I don't know how I want to bring this up, because it seems like obvious thinking back on it in some ways, but I just thought it was kind of interesting how they go. You know, that's all my thought on it. But I don't know what else.
Should we move on down the list?
Yeah,
we could. You know, Pyra and Mithra, kind of a similar thing with Rex. It's kind of cool that like you see Nia just gradually open up, especially to Pyra. She like really opens up. So, I mean, yes.
No,
she's warm, and you know,
yes,
she got to stay warm. But like it's kind of nice that like as she opens up to Pyra / Mithra, and like you just see that relationship grow deeper and deeper. And I mean, there's the New Game Plus scene that like, again, everybody loves to point this as like, oh, this is a shipping bait. This is clearly them confirming my ship. But like, I think that the title screen makes a lot more sense to just look at it as like her trusting them more. But
And
that's
not
just me.
like not everything has to devolve into like shipping wars. You can have
But
affection for your friends outside of things being romantic. Like,
Yeah, but the game doesn't even seem to like follow that either. But that's a whole other conversation.
I mean, but my point to that is that just because it ends romantic doesn't mean that it didn't start fraternal. So like my point with Pyra and Mithra and Rex is that like they all started as like really, really good friends. I'm not bothered so much by the fact they all ended up in a relationship because they went through hell together. They developed these really strong bonds, and as they got older, like relationships evolve. And that's just something that can. I'm not saying that the credits rolled and they immediately boned. Like as time went on, it could have just blossomed into something, and that's the route that Takahashi went with, and I'm not upset about that and the only reason I'm not upset about it is because the game gives that relationship very strong foundations and roots for it to grow upon. If it was they hated each other the whole game and then we find out that they ended up together, I would have been like, all right, well, what the fuck? Because like that's just harem bullshit at that point. But yeah, that's where my thoughts on their friendship and Nia's friendship with the three of them kind of blossoming into a relationship. But it doesn't, when you're looking at Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as a standalone piece, you don't have to interpret it that way.
Well, I mean, I really liked Nia and Pyra Mithra's relationship because, I mean, I think I see it in the notes from you, Justin, because she was, Mithra and Pyra were the first to know that Nia was a flesh eater, and it was kind of nice how she was very supportive of Nia and wasn't like forcing her to like announce to Rex and everyone else like, hey, I'm a flesh eater or anything like that. I thought their relationship was very, very sweet. Very sweet starting out.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think I also like that, like with Pyra and Mithra and Nia, just like how, while definitely not exactly the same, they can all like relate in multiple ways to each other's like baggage. Like, past, just in terms of like with Mithra, like dealing with the guilt of her past, and the same thing goes for like Nia. Well, I mean Pyra and Mithra together because they both are. Pyra being like the construct to like actually cope with that in a lot of ways, but also just in both being blades as well. Like they're obviously part of it, so yeah.
I do want to come back to the scene where Mithra finds out about Nia being a flesh eater, but we can come back to that after we're done discussing her relationships.
But are you sure you don't want to talk about it now?
It's not really about their relationship, it's about Nia, so that's why I'm like, if we want to finish this category, I'll come back to that. So just put a pin in that. I'll talk about it later.
Alright.
Okay.
Since we're in the relationships category.
Okay. Well, do you guys want to...
There are a lot of relationships.
Well, you want to move on to, well, I guess Poppy? How... Huh. I guess...
Yeah.
I mean, they're friends.
They're friends. They're co-workers.
Yeah, and this led to one thing that I was very disappointed with in Blade 3 was like, you know, towards the end you see Poppy show up, and I initially was really excited about that. I was like, oh, like was Poppy like around the whole time? Was she doing something interesting? And I felt like that could have been kind of cool. Maybe, but fuck me if they're ever going to say anything about it, because they never do.
I think from my standpoint, Poppy's an artificial blade. She's not going to disappear when Tora dies. So because of that, like, and the fact that Poppy, you know, I guess couldn't be turned into a bracelet or whatever the fuck the art book tells you. Anyway, it was more of a, well, what do we do? Do we just say that she was decommissioned, or do we keep her around and have her as a cute little Easter egg? And I was like, when I saw her in the ending cutscene, I was like, oh, this is really, really cute. I'm happy to see that she's still around and that they kept her. For me, it was just an Easter egg. And like, I never really read into it much more than that.
That's what it is.
that's what it ended up being. For me, my disappointment is more like, I guess in my opinion, I felt like they had an opportunity with Poppy, and they didn't really do anything with it. But that's just me.
To me, it's very much like as Justin said, it was an opportunity and they didn't do anything and it ended up being just an Easter egg. But it also causes this sort of existential horror of like, wait, was Poppy just sitting around unable to do anything and watching all this shit happen? What the hell? Where's Poppy's? I need to know more about what Poppy's been doing. That's terrifying.
Wouldn't she have just been switched off?
Maybe, but like it doesn't. I don't know. Was she?
Turned her on.
Sleep mode.
I mean,
Like
Nia
that's why now I need more answers because it's
Yeah,
like why was she off then?
But exactly, and how long was she off?
Well,
I think y'all are overthinking this just a
I'm
little
thinking that they
bit.
could have just not had it, and I would have had zero questions. I don't have questions about why Melia had the Monado. I was just like, oh, that's a cool Easter egg. Thumbs up.
And
Poppy,
let
I'm
me-
like, that's a whole ass person with a consciousness. What?
so
And
Whoa,
isn't that why this
slow
podcast
down,
exists,
Pat.
though? Isn't that why this podcast exists, though? Or are you just
Yeah,
over
you're not wrong. It's just this one detail. We might be looking a little too
Well-
deep into
well,
that.
I-
That's why.
There are
Okay,
things
well,
they could have
here's the
done that
thing.
would have not been deep. They could have put things that are not sentient beings.
Well, here's the thing. It's like I'll place it this way. I'm not upset that I'm not upset that Poppy exists as an Easter egg. I'm just saying, when I saw that Easter egg, I was like, oh, here's an opportunity for them to do something interesting, and they didn't. So I was like, oh well, I guess that she's just an Easter egg.
well,
That was
Cool.
like in the last 5 minutes of the game, though. Like, what do you expect them to do with it at that point?
They had a whole DLC.
They did have a whole
That's
DLC and still
fair.
did nothing.
well,
She could have been in the DLC at least, yeah.
You know, speaking of the DLC and that trademark vagueness of how they refuse to confirm things, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, wait a minute, Xenoblade's not the only franchise that does this. They do this shit in a lot of JRPGs where there's like this intentional vagueness that they refuse to just give you any hard answers, and I was like, what if it's not Takahashi's fault per se? What if it's just
it
that's
is, but
I mean, it is, but like, what if that's just like the trope? That's the style.
It's a dumb trope. You don't have to do
It
it.
is. I agree, 100%. I'm just saying, I don't think that that's something that's inherently unique to Xenoblade.
it's
Well,
not.
It's not. It's just there's a certain way it's done here that folks who played these games, y'all have noticed a certain pattern with these games,
Yeah, that's bait.
and that's when it gets annoying. And also to your point, believe me, this drives me nuts in other franchises as well. I love Mega Man. Mega Man's filled with that, and it drives me insane every day. So I am consistent about it, at least.
Yeah.
Here's 5 answers and 15 more questions.
so with Poppy and Nia, like, okay, I'm not like one way or the other with that whole cameo at the end, but I'm also like, were Nia and Poppy really that close to? I don't know.
No.
That's another part of it, but we're not going to know about it. So who cares?
I mean, I guess there was plenty of time for them to get close. But
I guess it's a matter of who's left, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, where else was Poppy gonna be?
That's true.
Who knows? Nobody cares, apparently. So
No,
But I thought she
that's what
wasn't
I mean,
anywhere,
is,
because if I ask that, then I'm told I'm overthinking things. So she was just in the void until she wasn't. The end.
who else from the cast of
my prevailing theory, if I'm going to think critically about this, my prevailing theory would be that Nia put her in sleep mode, put her in a box somewhere to keep her safe from Zed. And that was, to me, that seems to have been the thing that makes the most sense, is keeping her in storage probably and in sleep mode was probably the safest way to keep her safe from Zed. That's just my 2 cents on it, but
That could work. It just
I wonder
falls
if
into
they had-
like they should have maybe, because then it gets more confusing, because it's like I can understand reasons that an artificial blade like Poppy might want to stay away from a computer program like Zed, but then you have Eno existing in 3, and that kind of complicates it. And also there were other artificial blades. What about them? Like, it's one of those, you could have done something interesting, but because they kind of refuse to have more ties with older series, because they refuse to have answers, it just ends up with, wait, why is Poppy there? Was she there this whole time? What's she been doing?
Origin
Napping.
picks and chooses as it pleases.
Let's move on.
Why didn't she come back as a hamburger?
Let's move on to Zeke now.
They don't like each other. I mean, they get along, like, I guess, argumentative cousins.
Brother and
He's a
sister
one-eyed
cousins?
monster.
Yeah.
So I hear.
Yes.
So I hear the internet ships them. Is this correct?
Which is insane.
Yes.
Sir.
If you go to the internet, you will see that the internet sometimes ships them. Not all the time. Not all of the
would
internet.
ship Nia with a brick, okay? Like
I haven't seen
the internet would help you out.
Nia being shipped with a brick, though.
It was an expression.
You're on the wrong websites, buddy. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not on brickkiss.com.
Brickkiss.com.
Brickbuilt.com.
Masons only.
Masons only.
Maisons only. Bring it back around.
It always goes back to Mason.
Instead of asking you, like, you click on it, instead of asking if you're 18 or older, it asks you, are you a Mason? Oh, that was good, Robin. Oh, shit.
So yeah, there's not really too much to say else about their.
Yeah, they have like a playfully antagonistic relationship,
Like
basically.
Yeah, it's
pretty
a little
much.
bit
Their
more.
relationship is played for laughs. It
Yeah.
really is.
It's kind of rougher relationship than what Nia and Rex had at the beginning. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, how about Nia and
Doesn't
Mora?
take each other,
Sorry.
Nia doesn't take Zeke seriously, for sure. So.
Yes.
The
yes.
game
Never.
doesn't take Zeke seriously.
Well, yeah, a lot of people. Well, okay, with the exception of at least Pandoria, and sometimes Rex and Morag actually take Zeke seriously.
I
just
mean,
depending.
Sometimes Pandoria takes him seriously, but most
That's
of the
what
time.
I mean.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
okay.
the
I
exception
was gonna say, I mean, at least the game names its hardest difficulty after Zeke's abilities.
That's true.
That's true. He's a legend.
The game takes Zeke seriously.
Bring your own crayons.
Game is the only one that takes him seriously.
Morag and Nia, some people also ship them,
Yes.
which I'm also on that one, but
I'm-
I guess
Don't. Yeah,
That one,
don't know.
like the Zeke and Nia. I don't. It's not my thing, but I see where you got it. Morag and Nia. I'm like, I don't know how you got here, but okay.
Bridget is right there. Bridget
Bridget's
is right
right there.
there.
Bridget is right there.
Also,
I'm convinced that Morag and Bridget ended up together, and nothing will ever convince me otherwise.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to go to my grave believing that.
I mean, that's
what do you mean? They always are.
It's Senna's daughter. Senna's parents. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's just like I struggle to even think of scenes where Nia has interacted with Morag.
I was
Yeah,
going to say
that's
the
what I was
same
thinking,
thing.
too,
I
is
just
like-
thought it was my memory being bad.
I mean, there's.
I mean, they definitely talked
Like-
a time or two, but like how directly to each other.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Not really.
I can't think
Yeah.
of unless there's like plenty of. There's probably somebody listening who's gonna be like, "Oh, actually, I have a whole playlist of it." But like, I can't think of any scenes where like Nia and Morag just had like a one-on-one with each other, or like really spoke to each other
Wasn't-
without mentioning like Rex or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a heart-to-heart between Nia and Morag where didn't they talk about more?
See, the fact that you're struggling to remember this only goes to further prove.
That's what I'm saying. It's like maybe there could be a heart-to-heart, like, or like this obscure scene in a side quest that
Yeah,
might exist, but
They
I
have
can't
no-
think of it.
They've got very little to no rapport with each other. Like they're co-workers that tolerate each other, and they don't really have anything more substantial than that. It's just kind of what it is at face value, which is
Yeah,
okay.
I can't
Oh,
think
yeah.
of any particular. Like, I don't think they hate each other. Like,
Yeah.
and
No,
Exactly.
I think
they,
like as we've said, there's probably dialogue between them, just not anything notable. Like in those scenes where everybody's got to say something, sort of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
Which, now that I think about it, kind of sucks. It would have been kind of cool if they interacted more.
I do think that there could have been potential for some very funny dialogue there.
Yeah.
Oh my
But-
gosh.
There's this scene where Morag is cooking, but
I think she mostly just comments on the cooking in that scene, if I remember correctly.
Well, I think does Morag take Nia prisoner early on?
Oh, yeah. I think that's what
I don't know if I can call that a relationship, though.
Nia might still be a little bitter about that.
She might not love that.
I don't know. Maybe Morag chained Nia off screen. I don't know. Like, there's. Yeah,
the point is just no strong relationship.
Yeah,
there.
there's not much there, and I think it says something that all of us, like, none of us can think of like anything between the two of them.
Yeah,
so,
there might be something that we're forgetting.
I kind of remember, but not really.
If you remember before you post this out into the world, you can edit.
Okay.
Okay, so the ground beneath our feet, heart. Hey, Morag, it's Nia and Morag, actually, yeah. So
okay.
there was a heart.
So there is a heart to heart.
They're talking about sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm scanning through this is all.
Yeah.
That she's asking about a good view in Morardane.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going through it because I literally just found it again. And I was like, remember exactly where this conversation even goes.
Yeah, because I
think it's just mostly about Morardane in general.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Being curious about it.
Yeah.
That and the war with Gourmat. Yeah, that's actually a pretty big thing between them.
I was like, it might also be why they don't get along.
They talk
great.
about geopolitics. So,
wait, hold on a second.
So, like, their relationship is kind of like in a weird position because of where they're each from, due to like, the war.
When I look at it now, this capital of yours is pretty prosperous. Far cry from Gourmat.
Is that how you see it, Nia?
Well, am I wrong? Your technology is so much more advanced than Gourmat's. And you've got army facilities, hot springs. Looks to me like you've got all you need right here. I guess I don't get why you had to go and annex Gourmat.
Morardane generally has a rather hot climate, you see. We developed by actively exploiting technology which uses the heat, as well as that we obtained through salvage. But as the Titan nears the end of its lifetime, the temperature has started rising steadily. Ironically, while this has made our heat-powered technologies even more efficient, our farmland has done very much the opposite of flourish.
The Titan's lifetime, huh?
Yes. It shouldn't be long now. The day when Morardane's Titan becomes uninhabitable. Sensing that, the Senate started a war to conquer a new home for our people.
That'd be Gourmat, then.
Indeed.
Yeah, there is a war.
I thought Morardane was at war with Uriah, but they were, the Gourmat thing was because they were looking both Titans were looking to expand onto Gourmat.
Morardane wasn't on good terms with a lot of places.
And Gourmat had
Morardane is kind of colonizing Gourmat, so
yeah, because their
world is dying.
Yeah.
So
but I guess like that heart to heart kind of disappointing to me because they have that right, but it would have been, I guess that would have been more reason to have Nia and Morag interact more.
Yeah, I feel like that
something like that would have been, I don't know, more expanded.
They kind of
it would have made sense, right? Because then you could have had like the people from Gourmat and Morardane kind of make amends.
Yeah,
it's kind of like it kind of does feel like they are somewhat doing that, but they're kind of like just condensing it to this one conversation where they're like, wow, it's kind of interesting how we're on the same side now. It'd be great if our worlds never had to be like this and like go through this,
You realize there was a better way.
Was there now?
Our two governments could have just talked. Got to know each other, become friends. We could have worked together on this. Just like you and me. We were enemies at first, sure, but now we're allies, fighting on the same side. If our nations could have done the same, it wouldn't have had to come to war.
Perhaps so. If everyone in this world thought like you do, terror and strife wouldn't be so commonplace.
Well, come on. You're not just gonna give up, are you?
What do you mean?
If there's no need for strife, then we should just get rid of it. Rex told us, right? If we reach the World Tree, there'll be no need for fighting anymore.
You think Elysium is the answer to all our troubles, do you?
I don't care if people laugh. Call it a pipe dream or whatever. I'd rather be an optimist than just despair of the state of the world.
You have a point.
I hope you'll lend us your strength to reach that goal, Morag. It'd be grand if we could count on your support.
I will. They call me the Empire's finest, and I intend to prove it.
I guess that might have been leaning too much into a geopolitical structure that they kind of weren't going for, because they were kind of keeping it very fantasy and not very politic.
I mean, it's world building, but it's it's not the main focus of the story. It like very much ties into the plot, but it is not tied into a plot in a way that we need to focus mainly on this part of things. It's just like the nature of how the world kind of like works around this and why these like it definitely goes into like everybody's motivations and like how it affects like what the major plot is. It definitely ties into like the search for Elysium in general being like a thing everyone can kind of get behind in a lot of ways, like just with the pipe dream that it would lead them to some sort of the world to some sort of salvation. But yeah, like, and I do this is showing me, like, rereading this, it's showing me that Nia does feel like Morag is like a little bit too uppity and stuff in a lot of ways. At least some of the ways that the conversation can go, for sure, seem to definitely suggest that, you know, so. But, yeah, they do seem to come to, like, an understanding, and it's just, like,
they're not BFFs.
They're not, they're not great for, there's definitely some tension there, but they somewhat make peace, I guess, as much as you can in a single heart.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Gormott, because you brought Gormott up, and that kind of sent me down like a thought hole, or whatever you want to call it, or a thought train. Nia is very clearly Gormatti, but she doesn't really, at least not from what I can remember, and I could be wrong about this, she doesn't really seem to identify much with Gormott. Like, she doesn't mention Gormott, she doesn't have any strong ties to it. She's Gormatti in design, but, like, that's about as close to her relationship with Gormott is.
I mean, she wouldn't have...
mentions it early on when she's just like, couldn't you tell I was clearly from Gormott?
Yeah, that, and also, like, think about what
happened in her past.
Yeah, she wouldn't necessarily be tied to Gormott as much.
That, and just maybe not even have, like, super positive thoughts about it in the first place, seeing how things went.
Also, it would be like, yeah, my dad's from here, can we see him? No.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I mean, is like
she lost her dad, lost her sister, she was part of Torna. I don't think they're gonna look too fondly on her in Gormott, especially when you go to Gormott and they have the wanted poster for her. So it's like, I kind of get it.
Yeah, and plus you have like Tora being much more excited about Gormott, because he doesn't have those bad feelings. He doesn't have the bad vibe part.
Yeah.
What we actually needed was a cheerleader for Raya.
A cheerleader for Uriah.
Or at least a cheerleader to live.
A cheerleader.
Yeah.
It's too soon, Justin. I'm still in mourning.
Well, I think those are... Well, did we want to talk about Vandom?
Oh.
Since we're talking about Vandom?
Well, No. No.
Was
Okay.
there much to
No.
say about Vandom?
No.
Well,
No.
the major thing to say is how he could have been alive.
That's
But
Anthony.
we already mentioned that.
Anthony,
Yeah, I know.
That's why I deleted it, because Anthony
Hey,
pretty much
yeah.
covered what I was
You
thinking.
honestly, you could. Oh, okay. On that point too, you can blame Pyra and Mithra just as much. They both could have saved.
Like,
Also,
literally
maybe he could have not stabbed himself. Like, what the? Don't do that if you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
live, idiot.
Takahashi is just on a.
What's
If your character's name is Phantom, he has to die.
Not true.
That,
Jack
that's-
Vandom,
that's-
completely fine.
it's a more recent trend?
It's a more recent trend, but yeah, I know, especially in the third game where he was like, "I'm gonna speed run this backwards long."
Well, he
jump,
gave
no
you
shit."
more Vandoms, okay? He
It's
gave
true,
you
he
like
was like,
3 Vandoms
such
back.
A good idea.
We did get Monica Vandom, who was pretty cool.
You got
Oh,
Monica,
those were-
you got Gondor, you got Matthew. He was like, "Here, have more Vandoms."
So
You got Niall. How many more fucking Vandoms you want?
Yeah.
I want the Vandom that sounds like the Vandom from Xenoblade
Anyways,
Chronicles too.
Before we
It's
get
the
out
same
of the
voice actors.
before we
Yep.
get out of the relationship section, I
Well, we're
think
not out
that-
of there yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're getting there. That's all I'm saying. I wanted to run back to the Nia Zeke thing a little bit because there is actually quite a few. I'm like rereading some of these for the first time in ages, and I'm like, oh, there are actually quite a few heart to hearts where Zeke and Nia have extensive conversation that
Mhm.
isn't just them totally fighting. Which I mean, it does devolve into that a bit, but one is mostly just a goofy one about Nia asking Zeke about Tantal's like local food and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But the other one brings up another character we might need to talk about the relationship between Nia and, which is Turters.
Oh shit, you're right.
As apparently I'd kind of forgotten about this until now, but it's actually hilarious. Nia strikes specifically up conversation with Zeke and Pandoria, and this is where you can also see like how much better her relationship with Pandoria is as just someone she can take seriously than Zeke. But about Turters sneaking into Nia's bed every night and keeping her awake. And mostly she's worried she's going to crush him in her sleep.
Have you ever slept with a baby animal? Because that is a thought on your brain.
Exactly. And honestly, Zeke's pretty considerate about it for the most part. But Pandoria just like scolds Zeke for not keeping a better eye on Turters. But
And
yeah, I
not
just
giving the
wanted-
audience a better eye on Turters either.
Yeah,
Where's my
Exactly.
mini game where I have to take care of Turters?
pretty much,
we
pretty
need
much. I mean,
Turtles racing.
Zeke just
Yes.
does just have the
Turtles
one eye to
racing.
keep on. Yeah, Turters racing.
Yeah, like the remember the Chow racing minigame in Sonic Adventure, but with Turtles.
But like we raised Turters, and then depending on what food you give him, like he gets different personalities.
Yeah.
Who are you guys talking about?
Nia does want
What?
Nia
Are you-
does want Turters to grow up to be Dromark size, and Zeke said that'd be great, so I could ride on Turters.
Wait, you don't
Why
remember
do I not
Turters?
remember Turters.
The
Turters
Turtle.
is
The turtle.
I feel like I'm being gaslit
Zeke's
so
pet.
bad
I
right
think
now
that-
by the
Turtle.
wiki. I
get-
feel like the wiki is gaslighting. I don't remember this at
You're
all.
gaslighting
it's
us.
not a huge
Anthony, you
scene.
didn't play the game, did you?
I guess.
Even though I watched you play the game, you didn't play the
He's
game.
the
right?
little turtle that
He's
Zeke has.
Zeke's turtle.
It's a
I
little.
don't remember the turtle at all.
He's a
Wow.
cute little turtle. Cute little
He's a
guy.
little
I'm
baby
sure he's
turtle.
adorable, but
You
I
re-
just don't
you-
remember.
To be
him.
fair, you rarely see his face.
It's
It's hard to
sad.
see him from the
Yeah.
front. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad.
I mean, even the wiki, the picture they have on the wiki is from behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's mostly how you see Turters.
Yeah.
It's sad.
But
That's
anyway,
adorable.
yeah, Turters likes Nia because I guess Pandoria sometimes forgets to feed him. Well, and Zeke, but you
so
know,
wait,
She forgets
Turters.
to feed Zeke.
no, Turters, but whatever.
Turters
yeah,
forgets to
maybe.
feed Zeke. Yeah.
So wait,
No, she
Yeah.
forgets to feed Zeke.
so wait, is Turters eating Nia? What?
I don't know.
I assumed
I
Neo
think it's just
was
like
feeding him more consistently.
Okay.
probably that Nia was feeding more because Pandoria was like, yeah, we love turtles. Sometimes I forget to feed him though, but he's great. And Nia's just like, I'm starting to understand why he comes running to me every night.
Aw.
Nia reads to me as infinitely more responsible than either Zeke or Pandoria.
Yep.
Yes, for sure.
Are you two actually just fed up of taking care of turtles?
Perish the thought, right, Pandy?
Yeah, we love turtles. Sometimes I forget to feed him, but he's great.
I'm starting to understand why he comes running to me every night.
All right, so do we want to move on to the next character in this?
Sure.
And incidentally, move on to Blade 3.
Yeah. This is where we're getting to Blade 3 stuff. So Melia, they're both queens.
Yes.
They're both, amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
They're both from Queens.
The glow up, the sheer glow up on Melia.
And oh man, I love Nia's battle theme in Xenoblade 3. It's great.
Kaleidoscopic core is so good.
Oh yeah, that's such a good song.
Oh, it's so good.
Hey, you have your ending theme.
Yeah.
True.
Have we used it before? I don't know.
I don't think we have.
I don't think so either. Maybe
You found the song for this episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, her relationship with Melia, I did.
Positive.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to really have much of a relationship, but yeah, they seem like really good pen pals.
Yeah, I mean, in one of the later scenes in 3 when they're fighting and Nia is still putting on a very queenly front, Melia's is like, you can stop. You can relax around me. So they're clearly pretty friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'll say it. They're kissing. They are kissing. They are girlfriends that do kisses.
Well, what I was gonna say is they probably did, but off screen. Because I was gonna say it would have been nice if we got to see more of them before the events of Xenoblade 3.
Yeah.
Because clearly, they worked together a lot, but we don't get to really see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they work together, and again, it's not even purely a working relationship. They clearly were friendly.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been really, really, really cool if we got, even if it was just one flashback, one extra flashback of that. I think that would have been super nice to get.
Yeah, it would have been nice to just have more of them interacting in general, because you get them in not really New Game Plus, but sort of post game.
Yeah.
You can go back and get them both, but it's they don't really interact much. Honestly, a lot of the heroes kind of fell a little bit flat in that way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Though, I believe it was Nia that had her hero quest involved her and Mio?
Yes, I think.
Yeah.
Or Mio's definitely important to it, but I don't remember it too well.
What do we think, guys? Is that her daughter?
That's clearly what the game wants us to say.
What? Who? Mio?
Yeah.
Yeah. I never thought about it, but wait. Then.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
You'd be one of the first people I've heard of that never thought of it.
Because they have the same weapon.
Whose kid is Noah?
The ground.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a dwarf. He just pops right up out of the ground.
He was made from clay. He's not anyone special. Except that he's still sort of Nia's kid because his family line is weird.
Yeah.
So what it is that Mio and Noah aren't directly Nia's kids, but rather maybe the people that they're based on.
There's some descendancy, and that's about
there is
looping timeline.
I think it's a few generations removed, potentially, for sure.
We don't know how many repeats of Mio we're dealing with.
Until Takahashi turns around tomorrow and says otherwise, I guess. Who fucking knows?
I guess the simple answer is that the instance of Mio that we see isn't Nia's daughter.
The original one was.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Now,
or I guess, yeah.
Now, when
that's very interesting. And wait, look at the core crystals. Are the core crystals similar?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, absolutely.
So, when Mio and M kind of had their thing, did Mio get M's memories and other iterations of Mio?
I think just
Or
M.
okay, I didn't know if it was a Xenogears.
It's just that M's been around for a while, so that encompasses a lot of time still.
Okay, I didn't know if it was a Xenogears Lacan thing or Faith.
No, I think it's
Okay.
just M, but
Oh.
again, M is very, very old.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Which again brings back like my issues with the timeline, but
The timeline's
that's a
very
whole other
confusing.
rant.
It's
That's
very
a whole,
confusing.
That's a whole other rant for another day.
I don't need
There's
the
Xenoblade
genealogy.
Chronicles 3, and what even is timeline?
Yeah, yep. Like I said, that's one of the things that drives me insane. But again, rant for another day.
True.
I was like, I think there's a reason they kind of skirt over some of these and just like, yeah, you don't. This is not the part to worry about, really. Anyway, it's like,
I'm beginning to think that developers at Nintendo are just like, fuck it. Like, because they do the same thing with Tears of the Kingdom. There are like a lot of questions that people have about like, hey, so about that stuff from Breath of the Wild, and they're like, literally, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it. It's just stop asking questions.
I don't think they. I really don't think the story is as nearly as much of a focus in the Zelda series as it is this series, and that was clearly not the focus of this story in many ways, other than the part where they want to keep you guessing at stuff, and they might not actually have the true answers behind it. Not to like diminish what these games are capable of doing by any means. I'm just like, they're going to be people who think a lot about that, and ultimately they may be what they want you to do, but it doesn't, like, it's not the main point. So like I just kind of like, not going to even really engage too much with that part of it, because it's kind of a fruitless thing to me. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. So,
Mhm.
kind of going back to what Robin said a little bit when we were talking about Melia, like I like how they represented Nia's character in Xenoblade 3, and the fact that she is this queen of this nation, the nation of Xenoblade 2, and and I like how she's still her same like sassy self, but when she's like around the other party members, she's trying her best to be like this reserved image of what a queen should be, and then like Melia like kind of brings it out, like, nah, you don't, just be yourself. I thought it was cute.
It is funny how nervous she is about that kind of, especially about like explaining origin at first, or trying to. And she's like, "Did I do all right? I don't know if I was helpful." Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, and like how the party will have like see moments of her where she's not acting, and she's just like, it's really like, I mean, hold on, let me rephrase that.
Fuck, let me try that. I'm supposed to.
I
be,
meant
like,
fiddlesticks. I don't say that word.
Oh, fish sticks.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, because she was trying. It was funny that she was like trying to act more like their idea of what the queen would be like at first, and she just kind of like eventually is like, yeah, no, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do this.
Yeah,
it was nice. It was a nice
anything
little
else?
scene. It was for like as little time as she gets in that game. Well, I mean, other than as a party member, I suppose, late. But that was a good little bit of just like, yep, this is the Neo we all know and love. She's definitely got those tendencies, rather than just being like, oh, we forgot who the character was or something like
exactly.
that.
That's what I would have feared if they had just like, I don't know, just made her like some stoic queen or something like that. But
yeah, which honestly, like, would come way more naturally to Melia in so many ways. Like she
grew up with it, so
makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whereas it's still like it's not really clear why Nia got the position. Melia, you're like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I do like, since we're in Blade 3, that she fights with Pyra and Mithra's swords.
Yeah, that was cool.
Now,
It is funny that she doesn't fight with her own, though.
Okay, now it's a little of me like overthinking this again, but in Future Redeemed, didn't Rex also fight with Pyramithra's swords?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
They looked like replicas. They didn't look like the exact swords, from what I could remember.
okay, so I was like wondering like when did he give Nia the swords? But this might also be just a gameplay thing.
It's Monados. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
What even is a Monado anymore, man? Like
The smallest unit that everything is made up of. Glad I could help.
Yeah, I mean, well, the point of the Monado from the beginning was to be the thing that basically can defy reality in the world in multiple ways that are sometimes unknown until they do it.
and yet everybody's got one.
Oh, I mean, they're the same ones or pieces of the same thing from what we understand, kind of, anyway.
And everybody.
So the Monado that Rex has in Future Redeemed, is that the Monado, like the original Monado, or is that like the one that it's the replica that he gets at the end of one?
Shulk.
What? Did you mean Shulk?
You're talking about Shulk?
Yeah, talking about Shulk.
It would be a
That's
replica.
his replica one.
It would,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because even in Future Connected, he doesn't have the original. He doesn't have the original Monado in that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I'm
And
very
also-
confused.
And also, like, Malos has his own Monado.
Yeah.
I mean, so...
And Fiora had one, sort of, for a bit, and then just became a completely unrelated sword.
Yeah.
Because of course she did.
There was some Monado splitting around the Xenoblade 2, especially. There was some fuckery going on with the Monado.
Yeah.
I guess it's like, actually, that's probably somewhat of an implication of, like, the, just, like, in general of, like, the three parts. Like, it would kind of make sense for there to be the three Monados, actually.
Well, there were three Monados in 2, and then also Malos had a Monado, so 4 Monados.
Oh, yeah, I guess that...
Because Pyra had one,
'cause
Mithra
Pyra
had
and
one,
Mithra
Numa had
split.
one,
Yeah.
and then Malos had one.
Okay, I don't know that counts because, like, wouldn't the Numa one be the actual combined one?
Well, it was called, like, the True Monado.
Yeah, that's...
And then there were
see, that would make
2
sense.
in the first game.
Because the Pyra Mithra one was like an artificial split. So I don't know if I'd even count that in the same. Yeah, we're overthinking, but whatever. I mean, like that's
the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yep,
yeah, that's
sorry.
the podcast.
exactly.
But
So
yeah, no,
speaking-
I think we can explain that one away. Is all I'm saying. Wow. Yeah. Welcome to the episode about the Monado.
the beginning of the world.
Welcome to another episode of Everyone on XenoChat has ADHD and cannot stay on topic to save their lives.
I can stay on topic. How
Oh,
dare
I
you?
can.
Anyway, so here's a
Yeah,
differon topic.
Stay on topic.
So
But,
Shion Uzuki.
Bro just telling on himself.
I mean, you're not wrong. I said everybody. I'm part of everybody.
Well, then let's talk about Nia.
You asked that.
A thing I wanted to go back to.
Oh yes, the pin. The
yes.
pin.
Yes. So now that we're out of relationships, and I do kind of want to just go back to the scene where Mithra learns about Nia being a flesh eater,
Mm-hmm.
because the way it's presented is they're at the bath. Nia stands up, and Mithra goes, you want to talk about it?" And she's like, "No," and like kind of keeps moving on because they're at the bath, and you, the audience, don't know what the hell she's talking about. And this scene was really important for a lot of people and is a source of a lot of like, oh, is it supposed to be that Nia's trans? Is that what's going on here? Because that's cool and interesting. And of course, you find out later, no, that isn't it. It was that Mithra could see her core crystal and was like, you wanna talk about this? And it shows a lot of trust that Nia has for Mithra, that she's like, Mithra's not gonna fucking air this out.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think I'm heading out.
Nia, are you?
Well, yeah.
Do you want us to keep this quiet?
I'd appreciate it, yeah, for now.
Understood. You got it.
Thanks.
But also, it just separating it from what it meant in the story, just like this scene ended up being, as I said, really significant for a lot of other people because of how they thought the scene was going to go.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring up Nia's relevance in at least the English-speaking LGBT community for Xeno. That it's just, like, again, as I said, a lot of people looked at that and was like, oh, cool, trans Nia, nice. And then, no, not trans Nia, but, she still could be.
Yeah, you can still read
You can do whatever you want, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very good scene for that.
I think we
don't know if
might
I've
have
heard
went
that.
into this. I think we might have went into this during one of the queer theory episodes.
We might have, but since it's the
Yeah.
Nia episode, I wanted to bring it up
Yeah.
again.
You
Yeah.
may have,
Well,
actually.
I'm mostly saying it as in if we did, it'll be cool to direct people to that since we probably went into it in more detail there.
Yes,
So-
please listen
Yeah.
to both parts of the queer theory.
Yeah, I mean, you should listen to those episodes because those two episodes are honestly two of my favorites on the podcast.
Stop
They're actually really
slapping
good.
us on the wrist, Justin.
So, also a detail that I either forgot or just didn't notice is that in the Cloud Keep there is a statue of Dromark's head.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
It's at the top. Some people have suggested that Dromark is the Cloud Keep.
Oh.
You know what? Why not?
Interesting.
You know what? Why not? I like.
Well, I mean, it's like
I
the
like
way
that
that.
attitude. You know what?
Well,
To
the,
be
the
fair,
idea
that
was
is how
that.
this
Or,
game is right.
One at a time.
okay.
I like your
That is what they're going by with this game. So
The idea was that Origin had just kind of rearranged him that way, or something to that effect,
What if we make Cat a house?
or that Nia had to put Dromark down and mounted his head on the outside. And remember, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
That didn't happen.
Oh.
It's
How would
horrible.
he die, though? He can't die.
He didn't. It's the suggestion is that he was basically restructured to become the Cloud Keep.
Yeah.
Don't
Just-
ask me.
I
how
Sure, why not?
I mean,
Origin fuckery.
I mean, if Fiora can be a sword, I think that's fine.
yeah, exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I mean. Origin fuck. It's
Yeah.
what
It's
it
like,
is.
sure, fuck it, why not?
I need to go back and look for that statue, though.
Just look up a picture of the Cloud Keep.
No, I gotta do it in person.
It's on there. Oh yeah, if you want to look up, yeah. Somebody ripped the model. I'm sure.
So is that all for 3? Should we discuss her other appearances?
It was
Yeah.
weird when I walked into Cloud Keep and it was like, "Whoa, here's the name."
sure, there's one of these appearances that I actually didn't even know about.
Yeah, so, well, first of all, who all has the Nia figure that came out?
I would have the Nia figure if I remember to pre-order it, and
Oh.
it seems like it hasn't been available for purchase since.
I almost got it, but I was actually kind of broke at the time,
That's fair.
so didn't do it.
She is.
Yeah.
She was pricey.
And this is where I would put my Nia figure if I had one.
I am not a big
Basically,
statue
I bought-
person,
Yeah.
so...
I bought a new display case, and it looks amazing, and there's just this nice open spot for her,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have
I
her.
had one.
Someday.
Yeah. Someday, right? She can go right next to Cosmos and Melia and Pyra and Mithra. We also have Lila from Atelier Ryzen there. And then
I love
Rem
that-
is in the corner for some reason.
I love that she has the. Well, I there's a lot of things I actually do really like about her Kitsune like blade design. It's
Yeah.
really really cool.
It's
Like,
super nice. I
The big
honestly
sleeves,
really
the big
like it.
ears.
I kind of at first I was really hoping we would get her like orange jumpsuit figure, but this figure turned out really nice, so I have no complaints.
The actual figure itself looks gorgeous.
It is.
Like, they really
Yeah.
did a good job with it.
Mhm.
The way they render like hair on those higher pressed figures like that is just so cool. A lot of times, just like
And honestly, all the
so
Xeno figures all the Xeno scales they've done so far have looked unbelievable. Like
yeah,
it's the pictures don't do these figures justice. Like when you actually look at them in person, they're kind of insane. Like even like the Pyra and Mithra, like they're incredibly detailed.
On the Cosmos one, I can't believe like how tiny some of the details are on parts of it.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And even like the Meal figure looks good, because I know a lot of us were kind of like lukewarm when they first revealed it, but now that it's actually like painted, I think they did a really good job with that.
Well, I think the reason too was because like, well, I know some people didn't care for I think we all felt like the pose could have been a little bit more interesting,
better,
and also just that I love that Xenoblade 3 has like the more kind of modern stylings and like design wise for like their clothing and things like that, but like just when you compare that figure to one of the more fantastical looking ones like Cosmos, Pyra, Mithra, Nia, you know, like even Melia, like it's like it does feel a little bit, yeah, it almost like, oh yeah, I could see somebody looking at it as, oh, this is kind of lacking. It's just she's wearing the skirt and the jacket, and you know, but I don't know, I like it. It ended up looking so much better just like painted in the end.
Yes,
in general, they did a lot of really cool work on that. Plus, I guess it doesn't hurt that it's quite a bit cheaper than the past
it
ones
is.
have been.
Yeah.
When they revealed the price, I remember thinking to myself, like, wait, that's it?
Yeah, it's like, how many? 90 something? Or
it's like about 100.
Yeah,
it's around 100.
Nia,
Does it have anything to do with the fact that the yen is weak right now?
It's not just that. Like, even like Good Smiles US shop, she's at $93.99.
Yeah, Nia was like over 200 if I remember correctly.
I was going to say, keep in mind this compared to the last several figures that were like close to $300, like they were in the upper 200 range, like 250 plus.
Well,
so you know, I guess she's Mio's slightly more affordable. Slightly more affordable, because I'm not going to sit here and say $100 is affordable.
Right, it's still, yeah.
If you're collecting figures, you know what you're in for to a degree.
That is true. If you're a figure collector, that is affordable.
Like, unless you're solely buying like pop-up parade stuff or something like that, or just, you know, if you have any idea, like as far as like the figure market for a lot of anime figures, that's just kind of how things go most of the time.
But anyways, let's get back to some of her other appearances. Like, you have, you know, the Smash Bros. DLC where you get the all rest stage, right? Like, she's in the background of that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
and I believe there's also a Mii outfit for her too.
Yes, there, and like all like on that stage, a lot, like pretty much all the Xenoblade 2 characters, well, all of the like main party characters can appear on the boat, or on Azerda rather. So yeah, she is one of them.
Yeah, just chilling in the background,
just hanging
out.
So
what's this last cameo? Karaoke Joy Sound, which is I've considered downloading that on several occasions, because I know people who get that and they've said that it's like actually kind of incredible. Yeah, but like, what is that? What does she do in that app? Is she just like, does she just appear in one of the Xenoblade 2 songs for it? Or?
Yeah, it's when I researched it, it seems like she just like kind of appears in like in one of the videos for one of the songs that plays, because it looks like there's like, when I looked, it looked like there's like several Xenoblade 2 songs that are in that game. One of which being like the ending theme. Bring it back up, but yeah, it's basically just like a karaoke game, but karaoke Joy Sound for Switch.
Karaoke Joy Sound is a it's a long running karaoke franchise, right? And then the Switch has one where it's like, I think you pay a subscription and you can plug in a microphone and basically turn your Nintendo Switch into a karaoke machine, just straight up. I don't know if it's available on the North American eShop though. I think it's one of those things where you have to make a Japanese account to get it. But there's a lot of songs on there. A lot of popular anime songs are on that. Is
that what we played?
Kind of a crazy thing.
Did we play that at MagFest one year?
I think that was that game.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, and it looks like there's some.
But yeah, if you happen to have like a USB microphone, you can like plug it into there, and then yeah.
Yeah, because there's like Xenoblade 3 songs like A Step Away and Where We Belong are playable.
Yeah.
But yeah, but apparently.
Yeah. Okay, that's right.
Oh, go on.
You pay you pay for your sessions. That's what it is. So like you could do like a 3-hour. You can get like a 3-hour ticket, and then you can pay for that. Or you could do like 90 days, and so.
Yeah.
Basically, you could turn your living room into a karaoke booth. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that sounds neat.
So yeah, her appearance in that is very minor, but she's there.
Does she dance? Does she do her little dance in it?
I don't know. It just says, according to the wiki, she just appears in footage from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that plays randomly in the background during a song.
Speaking of favorite idol animations in video games, period, Nia's dance
Yes.
is up there for me. Whenever you're doing combos, it's so good.
You know, it'd be sick if we had like either a Xenoblade rhythm game or a Xenoblade DLC for like Taiko or Groove Coaster, and then you could just have like Nia appear as like an avatar or something.
That would be
so cool.
cute.
And the circles could be her little chakrams.
Yeah. Like that's
her
an
level?
idea right there. I think Xenoblade has a lot of songs that would work really well for a rhythm game.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, what was that?
I don't know. I think we can get a Xenoblade DLC. We have plenty of Toho ones.
What's that Final Fantasy rhythm game?
Theatrhythm?
Theatrhythm?
Yeah, if we could have a Xenotheatrhythm.
Yeah.
I mean, the closest we got is the one DLC with like the few Xenogears tracks on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Catch me at round 1 playing that in the corner alone.
I'd play
It is in a corner.
It is in the corner.
It is kind of sad.
Are you saying you're crying at the club?
I'm crying at the round 1.
Yeah, at the round 1.
The round 1 is the club.
The arcade club.
Yeah, actually check out that new Theatrhythm Final Bar line. It's actually pretty good. I recently got a copy of it for PS4.
Yeah.
I should spend more time playing that.
Oops. Shall we wrap things up?
I think so.
Yeah. So Nia's great. That's a terrible way to end the episode.
Nia funny.
Nia good.
Yeah.
Good Nia.
She's just a really great character. I love her humor, and her character development in 2 is like some of the best in the game and possibly the series, and I just love her so much. Okay. Well, thanks for discussing this with me, guys. Should we go around and see what you're up to? Or if anything you want to share, or what you're playing? We'll start with, I know you're low on time, so Anthony, how about you go first?
I'm buying a house and I want to die.
Oh.
In a video game.
Oh man, that was my favorite Harlan Ellison book.
It's very stressful.
I have no house and I must scream.
I have no house and I must die.
But it's exciting, and hopefully by the time this airs, I'll either be done with the process or further along. But that is, I'm playing Octopath Traveler 2. It's a really great game. I love it very much.
I need to get to that.
I think there are only 5 games, so you'll get there in no time. And I mean, like 5 games in existence.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I think there are only 2 Octopath games.
Oh, yeah. No, there are only 2 Octopaths, but only 5 games exist in the world.
If you like classic RPGs, you know, ye old Final Fantasy, like, stuff from, like, 1 through... Shit, like, I didn't play 9, but I feel like 1 through 9. Even kind of 10. Like, it's that sort of gameplay. Pixel art is absolutely gorgeous. If you've played Live Alive, it's that same exact art style, with, you know, how they do sprites
HD
in a
2D
3D world. Yeah, HD 2D.
2.5 HD.
I'm trying to think of what Dungeon. I wrapped up one of my D&D campaigns, so I've got Wednesday nights free again. And that's been surreal, like having finished a campaign. And really, I think that's more or less all that's going on with me. Just the big thing on the big monkey on my back is the house and getting one, and yay me, I guess. It's weird. Like, I thought I'd be more excited about it, but
it's stressful.
It's so stressful that, like, I'm just, like, overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed constantly. I can't even focus, like, during the day or anything. But this is temporary. Everyone goes through this when they're getting one, so it will pass. Like all things, it shall pass. All right, so that's it for me. I am going to dip here, actually. I do need to get some work done. Yep. I need as much time as possible.
Okay. Well,
so I will catch you guys on the next episode that piques my interest.
Okay, well, thanks for joining.
Wow, okay.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. All right. How about you, Robin? What you got going on?
Let's see, I've been playing Trails. I wrote some fanfic. If you like fanfic and Trails, you can read it.
Nice.
God, I mean, things I've been doing have been, like, much more, like, personal, and I don't feel like talking about a podcast.
That's
so
fair.
That's why I'm leaving it. Like, I've played a video game. I wrote fanfic. Everybody clap. Okay, bye-bye.
That's all you have to say. No.
I think we mostly just disclose what video games, what projects, are you sure what we're doing? Yeah.
Yeah, no, so let me just dox myself. So here I am at exactly this address.
No.
I'm joking, obviously.
Well.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. How about you, Nick?
I mean, I guess I've got several projects going. Most of them are pretty much like for various different things I usually work on. I suppose. I'm gonna try and start working on cosplay again for the first time in forever, which is nice.
That's exciting.
Yay!
Yeah, like it's definitely been a while, and I'm gonna try and do some pretty big things, at least a thing or two this year if I can. It's just a matter of time. I have a newer job. It's definitely gotten me in a better place in a lot of ways, both financially and just like time wise, but so like hopefully that works out. But yeah, I've got a lot of work to do for that. As far as like, well, I mean, like I've been playing a lot of the Trails games too. I feel like most of us we kind of like got each other into like this big,
yes, like, we trapped everybody in the mind
circle of like, okay, you guys won't stop talking about these games. I guess we all need to play these games now, and that's fine because
let me go see what all this hubbaloo is about. Oh shit, now I'm stuck.
Yeah, basically, it's like such a long ongoing series. I'm probably the furthest behind everybody here, being like I just finished Trails from Zero the other day.
I haven't played that one yet.
Well, I mean,
yeah, but you started at a different point, so it's hard to measure.
You started at like Cold Steel, right?
Yeah. No, the first Sky game.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did Sky, and then you've done some Cold Steel though. Too,
yeah,
right?
I've jumped around. I did Sky 1 and 2, and then I did Cold Steel 1 and 2.
Wait, so you didn't do Sky 3?
I did not. I own it, but I haven't played it.
Oh,
you JoJo Part Renegade. You read JoJo Part 8 before Part 1.
I recommend.
To be fair, did you play those games when they initially came out in English?
Oh, the Sky?
Yeah, Sky and Cold Steel.
Maybe. Well, I know I got Cold Steel 1 when it first came out in English, and I think 2 as well, but then I took like a 5-year break on Cold Steel 2. But then I played Sky 1, it was probably a few years later, because I played it on Vita. I didn't play it exactly when it came out, but it was just a few years probably after it came out.
So yeah. That works out. Anyway, like to trail off from there, yeah, I beat that. As far as other games, I guess I'm just gonna pick up some like little games between stuff here and there when I can. I'm gonna try and focus on some other things a little bit more now that I'm through that very well. I mean, it's not really that long a game, but it was for me because I play those kinds of games very slowly, and I like tackles so much in them. Yeah, everything else for now is going to be a variety between like fighting games, shorter games. I started up a little indie game called Void Stranger the other day. That's pretty cool. It's like it goes from looking almost Zelda-like to turning into like Star Tropics tile jumping, and does some funky things with that, which is kind of fun. I've been playing some. I think I said I've been playing some fighting games again lately. I really need to jump back on Yakuza when I get a chance. I was playing Dragon's Dogma on and off. I'm just all over the place these days with that. But from the Trails thing, our friend May from the show also is. I'm going to visit her again later this year, and we are planning to both cosplay from Trails in the Sky. Are going as Estelle, and I'm going to try to go as Joshua. Or Yoshua. That is one of them anyway that I'm going. One, we'll see how things go, but I'm working on it. I have the last several years been putting off just like trying to work on a Guilty Gear cosplay, and hopefully I actually get that done this year. So we'll see how that goes.
Good luck.
Yeah. I think the Yoshua one is going to be a lot easier. I'm basing it pretty much mostly off of his his easier outfit, which is like his like assassin style outfit from Trails in the Sky. I'm basing it specifically off the artwork from like the Kai versions of second chapter, I believe is what that artwork is officially from. But yeah, not the worst thing. Like some stuff could technically even just be clothing modifications, but main thing I really want to get into is just like the getting better at doing weapons making, because those are really cool to have, and it'll be nice to actually have like, oh yeah, this looks like a real fake sword, like kind of thing, instead of like what I've done in the past where I've kind of like gotten part of the way through and it kind of came out looking a little wonky, or it just came out like I can't feasibly carry this around because it is way too heavy or this or that. Like, it's not worth doing, you know. I've made some mistakes with cosplay in the past. Hopefully I can catch myself back up to speed now. I think that's most of it. I mean, I always work. I think I brought up Minecraft server stuff I work on. I'm starting to work on more artwork for that, and I'm actually involved in a convention I'm going to as like a volunteer this year.
Ooh, what convention?
It's for Otakuthon. It's the Montreal one.
Nice.
Which is kind of crazy as like, oh yeah, I'm volunteering for a convention not in my home country, but it's pretty cool. As far as what I'm doing, it's honestly not a huge deal. A lot of it I'm only able to do because I can do remotely. But that's cool. I don't know how much I don't think it matters if I disclose a little bit about that. So, you know, it's just volunteer stuff. Oh. It's cool though. It's nice to be involved in something like that I've been going to on and off for, well, the only times that I wasn't really going was whenever I couldn't for obvious reasons, like over the past few years. So, yeah. Well, that and just financial. But you know, it's what it is.
Nice.
Cool. Exciting year. A lot of stuff lined up for me, so it's nice.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, go ahead, Justin.
All right, so there's been a few things going on with me in my personal life. I'm okay. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. I know I was sick, so I had to put off a lot of things. In fact, we did delay recording this episode because of that. But I'm feeling a lot better now, so that's good. And I'm back to streaming. So Robin and we've been playing Legend of Mana on stream.
Yeah.
We just did a session yesterday, and we'll be doing another session next week. In fact, after we were done recording with this, I'm going to be getting ready for more Gunbuddy Goemon 3. So that's been that. I'm surprised Anthony didn't mention this, but Retro Roulette, we are doing some more Tournament of Voices. We just had one at KogaraCon in New Jersey. Unfortunately, I wasn't at that, but I'm going to try to be at our other appearances. We're going to have one over at Thy Geekdom Con and also at Too Many Games in June, so next month. So we'll be there for that. Definitely check us out there. Check out the events. If you're listening and you're in like the New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, come over. It's great. And as far as like what am I playing in my free time, I just beat Trails to Azure. So yeah, finally done with that game. And I can now play like other stuff because I told myself like I wasn't gonna really play any more RPGs until I'm done with that. So now that I'm done with that game,
it's a good call.
I'm playing some new stuff. Like this morning, I actually started another Code Recollection. So
Nice.
finally getting around to playing that. I really wanted to play that one. It was one of my most anticipated titles for the year, to be honest.
It's really good.
I liked what I played of it so far. Another game that I know Tyler and I recently bought is Megaton Musashi Wired, which y'all get on that game. Like,
it looks
for
cool.
real.
Not enough people are talking about this game.
If you like the robot RPGs, get on this game. It's actually kind of really great.
Where can we actually get that game? Is that fully available here?
Yeah, it is on. It is out here. It is on Steam. Okay. It is on Switch. It is on PS5.
Oh yeah, it's a digital only, isn't it?
It is digital only.
Yeah,
but it has not only does it have cross-platform play, it also has cross-platform save. So that's kind of insane.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that is wild.
There's like online co-op, PvP. There's a legit like story mode that you can explore and talk to characters. The gameplay is a ton of fun. A little simple, but it works. It's really, really, really fun. The graphics are pretty darn good, especially in battle. I really like the way the robots look. Yeah, guys. Check this game out. Level 5 didn't really tell anybody that it was coming out. Even people who are following the game were kind of like taken by surprise when they're like, "Oh, wait, this is actually coming out now."
I guess this wouldn't be the first time they've been that.
It is far from the first time. They are not great with this stuff.
If
you're like me and have enjoyed Little Battler's experience on the 3DS, this game is basically like the spiritual successor to that. So, if you like Little Battler's experience, get this game. If you like Custom Robo, get this game. If you like Gotcha Force, get this game. It's good. Just get this game. It's a ton of fun. Another thing that I'm gonna be playing soon, friend of the show, she's also been on the show a few times. Aiden actually got me Atelier Ayesha because she's been wanting me to play the Dusk trilogy. So she bought me Ayesha, and I then bought Eska and Logi and Shally on the Steam sale because they were both on sale recently.
Yes.
So I'm gonna be playing those games very soon as well because, like, honestly, I've had Atelier on the mind a lot, and I'm still kind of new to Atelier. Like, I started with Ryza, and then last year I bought Atelier Marie, and I loved it.
Marie,
I absolutely
that game
adored
was so cute.
Atelier Marie. It's so good. Not enough people are talking about Atelier Marie. I personally loved it, so I want more Atelier games in my life.
Same.
So, yeah, and I was kind of like wondering which one I should jump into, but since Aiden got me Ayesha, I guess she made that decision for me.
It's a good choice. Good decision.
Yeah, Chelsea, she's been wanting me to play these games for so long, so I'll follow and give them a chance, and I think I'm gonna really enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's what's happening with me. There's a couple things that I'll announce in the future. I know I have at least one collab lined up, so look forward to that. And yeah, that's what's up with me.
Okay,
nice.
All right. Well, as far as me, I've been trying to work on the Xenokami fan translation project a little bit more lately than I have been. I'm sorry it's taken, the game celebrated its 20-year anniversary the other day. But, yeah, it is a passion project, and I don't have...
Be so hard on yourself.
I know, I feel bad, but Kari and I are working on it, and I don't feel comfortable saying a release date at this point, but it'll come out when it's ready. But other than that, I'm pretty similar to Justin. I actually finished one of the another Code games last night. Really good. And then I've also been juggling like Megaton Musashi, and I was playing Unicorn Overlord, but I'm like 70 hours in and I am burnt out, so that's when I've been kind of juggling other games because it's...
Out of curiosity, is like the end inside in that game?
I don't know. I have like 2 more continents I haven't explored, so yeah. I mean, sometimes
I didn't realize that game was that big.
I didn't know it either.
It can be. I mean, there are like side quests you can do, so that might be some of the reason that I'm behind. But yeah, it's been taking me a long time, and it's good though. I mean, the story's not great, but it's got pretty decent characters, and I like the combat. But yeah, it's just I got burnt out on it, so I'm just taking a little break, playing a few other games here and there.
Good time for that.
Yeah, but otherwise, I think that's I can't think of anything off the top of my head, so I won't talk about it. Okay. All right. Well, thanks again for joining me tonight, and thanks for everyone listening. And Nia's the best cat girl, and have a good night.
Night.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah.
Save the game?
Yeah.
The initial file, obviously.
It's fine. I've had it going for like 9 minutes. It's fine.
Did we say anything funny? Should I talk about the turkey again?
There's a turkey.
Yeah, I know what to do.
No problem. Everything's fine.
My copy of that should ship tomorrow.
Yay! Your copy of the jeans?
Boy, I guess that beer is hitting harder than I thought it would.
Did you not eat or something?
What did you drink?
Yeah, no, I ate. I had lunch. I did a dumb. So I found out that there's a brewery like less than 10 minutes from where I live. So I stopped there on the way home, and I got a very small flight of 3 beers, and sampled those, and like slammed those back, and then I was like, all right, in the rare event that this hits, let me just go. So I paid and I left, and now I'm home, and I'm like, oh, well, it's a good thing I left when I did.
Well, I got my
Probably should have
ramen Pepsi.
Ramen Pepsi?
Rum and Pepsi.
Oh, okay.
I heard ramen Pepsi too, so
I'm sorry, I'm from New York. Everything got to be fast, all right?
I knew what he meant.
No, I knew what you meant. It was just kind of funny.
I got my ramen and Pepsi.
I would try
your ramen and Pepsi. Your
some of these.
Ramen and pilk. God, that sounds so disgusting.
Okay, so
Ramen milk?
That does not.
Ramen and pilk.
All right, and
ramen and pilk.
Oh, you can't do that!
So we have all that. I got this stuff for Mio. I think
The
we
stuff-
are
The
good
stuff
to
for
go.
Mio. I thought you said I got to suffer Mio.
Oh, we'll suffer Mio in a moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Mio.
I like Mio, fine. I have her figure.
Anyway,
I'm okay.
Here I come, ready or go Morty.
Hey, guys, wife is calling.
Well, while that happens,
Oh, I think he forgot to turn his mic off.
yes.
It's okay.
Okay.
Going for the throat.
Like, I think there's something to
Hi,
be
Anthony.
valued there.
Oh, you're back.
What?
You're
Yeah,
like,
no, he stepped back for a second.
yeah.
I shifted my position and my mouth and my face went away from my microphone. But like,
Oh, go on.
I'll have you know I'm wide awake.
Okay, good job.